guess you never really know when you're in it. I'll probably be able to like look at it a couple of days from now and be like, whoa, that was crazy. But right now I'm just grateful. I'm just, obviously like anytime. I guess you never really know when you're in it. I'll probably be able to like look at it a couple of days from now and be like, whoa, that was crazy. But right now I'm just grateful. I'm just, obviously like anytime that you are able to be honest with yourself and write a song and people care enough to listen is a win. So I'm very grateful.
I mean, this is a super vulnerable song, and like you put it so beautifully, it's about more than one thing. And when I heard it, I literally was like, this must be such a mental hurdle to not be able to control the narratives of what other people are thinking. How did that all feel for you? Like putting it out initially, and, I feel like you probably knew, like, you're not going to be able to control what everyone's thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that was probably why it was one of the things I've been most nervous to put out, but that was also something exciting about it, I think, because like there's only so many times in life where we really get to write about what's affecting us in the moment, and we're not just because like as a songwriter I'm constantly writing ideas for songs throughout my daily life all the time, but very rarely do I like sit down with a purpose and really write exactly what I want to write in that moment. And I think in this, situation, I think a lot of people have probably felt that way, like in their lives, in their personal lives. Like it's such a struggle to not be able to control the narrative and know that whether you say something or whether you don't say something, people are going to be mad at you either way. And people are probably not going to be pleased with whatever you say or don't say. So, I mean, it's really just one of those things where you have to kind of do it for yourself at the end of the day, and do it in hopes that someone can find, inspiration in the message, which I think one of my favorite lyrics in the song is, maybe we can pretend there's no gravity in the words we write, because there's very obviously gravity in the words that we put out. And especially the things that we put out into the world. And I've just grown up in this time of social media and kind of grown up in this new age to see how people feel the need to always insert their opinions. And, sometimes it's easier to shut your mouth than other times. And this time I wrote a song and I'm very proud of it. So I'm glad that people are receiving it well.
Yeah, which is ironic because like you spoke of like it being so difficult and not being able to control people's narratives, but that's what the song's all about, not letting people get under your skin.
Well, and knowing that they will either way. And it's just like all you can remind yourself is that like at the end of the day, like you have you and you have to protect yourself, and your own happiness and peace.
Right. So where did you write the song? Did you have to go to the studio to do it? Did you kind of always have maybe some thoughts about it in like your notes app?
No, I mean, I was actually already in the studio, and it just happened to be one of those days where I was like, this is how I feel. And so this is what I'm going to write. And, I mean, the way that it happened was very effortless, which is interesting. Like most of the time or I think a lot of people assume that it's like this thing where I was like, I had to run to the studio. It's like, no, I was already making music, and, it just happened to be one of those things that I wrote that day and that week, and the timing of everything, aligned.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you nervous to put such kind of like, I don't want to say a direct call out, but like putting the word blonde in it, where you knew people would kind of align with what that meant? Like, were you nervous to do words like that, or was there any sort of hesitation?
Like yes and no. I think it's like at the end of the day, the more I dance around the subject, like the less people kind of maybe understand where I'm coming from. And not that like the goal is to get them to understand, because I don't think at the end of the day, like you're ever going to accomplish that. But the more honest I could be in that moment, and the fact is exactly what I said. It wasn't a call out to one person. I mean, in that situation is like a situation, and plenty of other things have happened in this past year alone in my life that I was like, it's getting to be a lot. And I need to compile these thoughts into one place and into one message that I can kind of come full circle with, and constantly remind myself that like people can only get to you if you allow them to. And that was something that I always wish that I could tell my younger self and, my past self. So it really was, a message for me to just kind of remind myself. But I definitely know that a lot of my fans have struggled with similar things in their lives, in their personal lives, in their relationships, and whatever it is, in high school, in college, I mean, it's not just something that I'm dealing with alone. So truly it was not directed at one person, but more a lot of people. And I think I tried to get that across in
You did it. Like when you posted that, I thought you put it so well. And I like when I read that, I was like, totally, like the whole song, like, I felt like it was about a couple different things even before you said that.
Oh, thanks. I mean, definitely in the video. And that was something that I was really excited to make, because I was just like, I think that this is, especially in this time, like 2021 has been such a hard year for so many people internally and mentally and, in their personal lives, that I feel like it's a message that we could use in more ways than one right now, of like, there's going to be a lot of outside noise, and you have to do whatever it takes to keep this quiet, and to keep this quiet. And, whatever that means for you, and whatever that therapy is for you. For me, it was music and it was writing. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Would you call that your most vulnerable project that you've done though?
I put out another song, was it 2 years ago, a year and a half, called Exhale. And that was kind of the first time that I ever really at least confronted my anxiety, and just like things that I've dealt with and things that I've grown into over the last few years of my life that I didn't deal with when I was younger. That was definitely, like, I think, also a very vulnerable song too, but this is, another chapter and a different part of my life. And I mean, it's like I said, you get super lucky when you get to create something that aligns with exactly how you're feeling in that moment.
Yeah. The music video, so cool, by the way. Where did you come up with the concept? Like, I love
Ah,
like the all weather situation. And were
yeah.
you like dying, like drenching, like while having to sing?
Oh, it was so funny to film. It really was. Like, the snow was made out of, like, I hate to like give away the mystery, but at the end of the day, it was like some weird cornstarch mixed with something, potato flakes, and it kept getting in my eyes and my mouth, and I just like couldn't stop. Like, it burned. It was just so uncomfortable. But no, I mean, I basically, the idea for the video kind of came to my mind as I was writing the song, and I was like, metaphorically, like, these are storms that kind of consistently are passing by, and that there's a point where it gets really bad, but that they're going to pass, and that despite those storms, you just have to focus on happiness and love, and what makes you happy. And so it's kind of getting that across visually. But yeah, the different kinds of weather sort of like progressed. I mean, I was definitely inspired. One of my favorite movies is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And it's a different plot, but cinematically, and some of the things that they are able to accomplish in that movie, I was like, how much can we make this music video like a little film?
I love that. Yeah, no, and it visually was so cool. Like even the stills of like the photos you posted of it, I'm like, it's so beautiful.
Thank you so much. That was partially due to Gavin, because Gavin Leatherwood, who's in the video, was amazing, and made every setup look that much better. But yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. Well, and hey, congrats on signing with Island. I know that's a new thing for you. So is Skin going to be part of like an upcoming project? Is it just like a one-off kind of thing?
That's a good question. I mean, at this point, like, I'm kind of in that world of making all these decisions, and I don't know if this is part of the next project or not. To me, it's sort of just like a part of my story, part of my next chapter, but not the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I'm figuring it out, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I think it's so cool now, like with artists, I notice, a lot of people are just putting out music as they do it. And I think that's just such a great space, because a lot of the times, like I hear them talking about like, when you go to make an album, you'll make 100 songs, but it only makes like 13. And it's like, well, what about the ones you love that didn't really make sense for the project, and then you kind of have to find out what that is.
There's so many songs from my past that I love that never made projects. And, I've been writing since I was 13, and, I've been working on different albums cycles throughout those years. And it's like the craziest thing that you're like, so many songs, like just go to this land of unheard songs. And yeah, I mean, it is such a refreshing take to not like have written a song a year ago and put it out. And pretend that that's where you still are mentally. I've had so many things where I've had to put out that I was like, I don't feel this way anymore, but I guess here you go, you know? And yeah, I'm very grateful, and Island's been amazing, and you know, at the beginning of our relationship. So
Yeah, that's exciting. You really like, I feel like you came in and just like kicked the door down with that song.
yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else are you working on right now? I know you are producing and starring in Alice for Netflix. It's so exciting. Is that like in the process right now?
Yes, working on it as we speak. Obviously, like COVID world is a whole different beast. And the movie is a present day modern Alice set at a music festival called Wonderland. So it's a different spin on it. But Netflix was the perfect home, and I'm such big fans of them, and so I'm so excited for everyone to see what we do with it. But definitely working on it right now. And yeah, it's the first film with my production company, so I'm very grateful, and like just so stoked to learn everything I'm learning right now, but especially for people to see it. So yeah.
You are busy. Like, wow, that's insane. And what can you tell us about a song called We Both Know with a fellow named Joshua Bassett?
Oh yeah, I can't say too much, and it's on his project, so I'm like, I don't want to say too much that I can't say. But it's a collaboration very dear to my heart that I'm excited about, and we did it a while ago now. So yeah, I guess you'll have to see.
Okay, that's exciting. Well, hey, congrats on everything with Skin. What an exciting time for you. And I mean, I truly mean it is such a great song. I've listened to it over and over again because it's just been stuck in my head, but in the way that you're like, I have to keep listening to this.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Yeah, it's stuck in my head too, but I'm biased because like I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much for talking to us at radio.com.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.